Now, number 6, I have sa. Sa. Wow, how many root letters do I have here? I have 2. And so far, when I'm missing one, which one's missing? 1, 2, or 3? 1. So 1 seems to be gone. I see root 2 and 3 here. What happened to the root 1 noon? It has fallen into Sheol. Where does that happen? 2 places. The cal imperative and the infinitive construct. If I have aphoresis in the cal imperative, root 1 just goes away and all my imperative endings will be used, which are nothing, kirik, yod, shurik, and na. Right? Those are my imperative personal endings. If I have aphoresis with the infinitive construct, what comes after root 3? What do I get? I get a bonus letter. What's the bonus letter? I get an extra tav after root 3 for the infinitive construct. Okay? Do I have a bonus tav here? After the aleph? Does anybody see a bonus tav after the aleph? Okay, then this is not the cal infinitive construct, is it? This has got to be the cal imperative. And with no ending, it's the 2ms form. Okay? So let's go back and ask ourselves, what would the cal imperfect have looked like? It would have been, ye, sa, with a doubling dot in the scene. Yin sa would become yissa. Chop off the head. What am I left with? Sa. Can I take the noon out and stick it on the front? Nope. Because this 1 undergoes aphoresis. And I lose root 1 noon altogether in the cal imperative. When does aphoresis happen? If my theme vowel in the imperfect is what? Not holum. If it's holum, it follows the normal, regular, strong pattern. Okay, but if my theme vowel is not holum, then I will get aphoresis. And a kametz here is not a holum. So it will lose root 1. So this is a command. Sa, lift up. Lift up what? Et einecha. Your eyes. That's right. Lift up your eyes. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 7 real quickly here. All right, so we have nutatihu. Nutatihu. What are my root letters here for this verb form? Nutatihu. Can you see any? Number 7? Okay, I see a nun and a tav. Do I see the third root letter here? It's really small. You need a Hebrew microscope to see it, don't you? It's showing up as a doubling dot here inside the tav, isn't it? What root letter is that? That's the noon. So this is Nathan. What happened to the noon here? It assimilated. That's right. So this is really Nathan T, which became Natat T with a doubled tav, because the noon became a tav here. So what's the T part telling me? When I see T after some verb roots, what should I be thinking? Yeah, that's which conjugation? Perfect 1CS. And then the who is a predominant suffix. So which person gender number is that? 3ms. Okay, good. So I blanked him. Nathan is to give. So this could be not him, but could also be it, right? Because neuter things in English could be masculine in Hebrew, because Hebrew doesn't have a neuter gender. Here's one question for us. What stem is Nathan in? I've got perfect 1CS, but is it the cal, the PL? What am I looking at here? Yeah, this is the cal stem. Does it look like the cal stem here on the front part? Okay. Yeah, because I've added this pronominal suffix, my accent has shifted, and that left this open and open and propertonic, right? It would have been natanti, which then became natati, but adding the hu and moving the stress to the t, it's natatihu, became ntatihu. So this is a reduced kametz that became a vocal shiva. All right. So we've got to be careful for that. If this were a PL, right? Because for this to be a perfect, it's got to be one of the perfect forms that have no prefixing. And where do I have perfect conjugation patterns with no prefixing? Yep, I have call, PL, and pual. Those are the only three that don't have prefixes in the perfect, right? The nifal has the noon prefix, and the hifil and hofal have the hey prefix. The hithpael always has a hith prefix, which is easy to spot. Okay, so the PL and pual are going to do what with roots 1 and 2? Think about the perfect of the PL. I have 3 root letters. In the PL, root 1 gets a Keurig, and root 2 gets a doubling dot, which means root 1 and 2 will always form what kind of a syllable with the dagesh forte here? It's always going to be closed, right? And therefore, it'll always be a short vowel, which is why I have a Keurig here. Okay? With the pual, same thing, right? I have a kibbutz, and I have a doubling dot in root 2. That's going to be a closed syllable. So 1 and 2 are closing in the PL and pual. So if I ever have a root 1 going to vocal shiva and no prefixing, and I've got perfect endings, it's got to be cal. It can't be anything else. Okay? Yeah, because it's open and had to reduce. All right? Okay, good. So I gave it. Now look at number 8. I have hitsalta. Hitsalta. Say that with me. Hitsalta. Okay. Now, let's identify what we see here. We'll go ahead and make this a little bigger. Do you see anything on the end that might help you parse this? Yeah, ta wants me to go with perfect, and what person, gender, number? Yeah, 2ms. Okay, good. Now, once I'm in the perfect conjugation, I know that I've got to be thinking about prefixing and vowel patterns to know which stem it is, right? I've almost got it all parsed, though, just by knowing the ta. So that's really great. This is why it's so important to know your inflectional prefixes and suffixes, right? Now, is it possible that I'm seeing the 3 root letters here? That actually is possible. If hey is root 1, then what stem is that? PL, because PL gets a Keurig under root 1 in the perfect and a doubling dot in root 2. Okay? The question is, do you have any verbs with that verbal root set? Hutzel. No. I do have another possibility, don't I? It could be that the hey is a prefix hey, and that I'm only seeing 2 root letters. And in this case, which root letter is missing? Root 1. And is there anything that would give me a clue as to what root 1 could have been? Aha, I've got a doubling dot in root 2, which means root 1 could have been a noon, right? An assimilated noon. Now, do I have any verbs that have those 3 roots? Noon, sadi, lamed. Yes. Natsal means what? To deliver. In which stem? Okay, so I could have hifil and PL where it has that sense, right? Well, here's the question. If the hey's a prefix, then this has got to be what? What stem? Yeah, with that I vowel, it's hifil. If it had a U class vowel, it would be hofal, right? So this is a hifil perfect to MS from Natsal. And so it means you what? You delivered. You delivered. All right? Okay. Let's take a look real quickly here at number 9. I have hagidu. Say that with me. Hagidu. All right. Do you have an accent mark above your gimel? Okay, good. I got one of the first printings of this textbook, and it didn't have one, so I had to write mine in. But there you go. So it's hagidu. I see a shurik on the back end here, don't I? That means that this could be, just don't worry about the front for a moment. If I see shurik at the end of a verb, what are my two main possibilities for this? Could be perfect, 3CP, or imperative, 2MP, okay? It could be imperfect if I had a nutty prefix. Do I have any nutty prefixes? Nope. What are my nutty prefixes? Noon, tau, yod, olive, right? I don't have any of those. I do have what looks like it could be a hey prefix, don't I? And with that Keurig yod in the middle, do I really want to see that hey as a hey prefix? Yes, I do. Because what stem takes hey prefixes and Keurig yods in the middle? Hifil. Hifil. Okay? So I may have a hifil, perfect or imperative. Do both of those have hifil heys? They do, don't they? Yeah, the hifil perfect and the hifil imperative have hey prefixes. Which one has the A-class vowel there? The perfect or the imperative? The imperative has an A-class vowel. The perfect would have what vowel class if it's hifil? It'd have an I under the hey. Hif keyed, right? Go back to your strong verb pakad. Hif keyed for the hifil perfect. Haf keyed and kade for the other forms, right? So this is the imperative, okay, not the perfect. Now, what's my root letters? If the hey is a prefix hey, for the hifil, I only see how many root letters? 2. Gimel dalet. Is that 1 and 2 or 2 and 3? 2 and 3, and where is root 1? Root 1 is my dagesh forte representing a noon, right? So gimel, dalet, and possibly a noon prefix. Is nagad one of my new verbs? It is. What does it mean in the hifil? To tell. So how would I translate this? It's a command. Tell. Tell. Tell me the truth, guys. Tell. Hagidi, sorry. All right, last one is kahu. Kahu. All right. How many consonants do I see? I only see 2 consonants. I need 3, don't I? 1 is missing. Right now, where have all our weaknesses been when we see missing consonants? First root letter. So that could be roots 2 and 3. What would be my missing consonant? It could be a noon that suffered aphoresis and fell into Sheol. Is nakach one of my one noon verbs? Or do I have a verb that thinks it's a one noon verb and really isn't? Yeah. Yeah, it's actually lakach, which behaves like a one noon in situations like this. Where do I have aphoresis of one noons and the lamed of lakach? I gave you, well, I wrote it already here quick, right? Cal, imperative, and infinitive construct. Okay? So you tell me, could this be a cal imperative? Yes. I've got a shurik at the end, right? That's characteristic of an imperative. And imperatives have no prefixes, right? No nutty prefixes. Could it be the infinitive construct? When I have aphoresis, when I have root 1 falling into Sheol. Okay, that's right. I lose the front but get something on the back if it's an infinitive construct, right? That tav shows up. So it would be kov, chet tav with the, would have been double segol, but chet is a guttural, so I get double what? Double pathak. I get the A-class vowel, right? So the cal infinitive construct of lakach is kachat, the act of taking. So this is an imperative. An imperative with the shurik on the end is who? 2MP. Cal imperative 2MP. So how will I translate this? Take. Take. Yeah. Talking to a group of men. Take. So both of these last two forms are imperative 2MP, right? One's a hifil, one's a cal. Now, one thing about the hifil of nagad is this. You know how the hifil often has a causative sense, right? But the verb nagad in the hifil does not have a causative sense. It just means tell somebody something, okay? In other words, there's not a cal verb meaning of nagad that somehow gets manipulated by putting it in the hifil and adding a causative notion to it. So you just have to learn. The hifil meaning of nagad is to tell. All right? Okay, good.